Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining, and for people watching on YouTube, thank you for clicking on this video. This is the 3doshas.com free community session on focus and distractions. I'm so excited that you're here today. I'm Sachin Sayal. I'm the co-founder and CEO of 3doshas. You might be wondering a little bit more about who we are. We are an award-winning lifestyle company transforming lives through core principles inspired by yoga and Ayurveda, which are the world's oldest life sciences from the Indus Valley civilization. Our mission is to help our members level up and boost their performance by identifying and aligning their unique three doshas, or the three greater energies and strengths. So the three greater energies in Sanskrit are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, or air, fire, and water. The air element controls our thoughts and ideas. The fire element controls our actions for transformation. The water element controls our grounding and reflection. And as an example of how this all works, if you think about it, for anything to grow, you need ideation, execution, and reflection. And those are the three greater energies. So we have upcoming events coming up soon. We're in an event right now. We're in the focus and distractions event. Next, we have a core team meeting. If you're interested in joining the core team, you can reach out to me. We also have a mindfulness session coming up soon. And that's actually with one of our core team members who is a certified yoga instructor from India. And then in the future, we also have leadership classes. We have private sessions on career transitions with my dad, and private sessions on interviewing strategy, and much more. So we also have a 3doshas membership plans. We have a basic membership, a plus package, and a pro package. The basic membership is perfect for beginners, and actually right now for a limited time, we have the 5-module video class available for free. So I highly encourage you to check that out. For the plus package, this is perfect for ongoing learners. This is more for like your everyday life, for example, your family life or school life. And this is just to improve that and take your game to the next level with that. And we have plus intermediate content access with the plus package. For the pro package, this is for professional. So this is like if you want to take your career to the next level. And we have executive coaching for 50% off with that, with the pro package. And then we also have pro advanced content access with the pro package. So I'm going to give it off to my dad, and he's going to start sharing.
All right, guys. Hello, everybody. I'm Sumit. I'm also the co-founder with Sachin. And thank you for joining our focus and distraction session. We're going to talk about what 3doshas is. We're going to talk about what the terminology is, and we're going to focus around how to get focus in life. So let me dive straight into it. So you must be wondering, what is the word 3doshas and where does it come from? The word three doshas actually comes from the Sanskrit word 3 doshas, which literally means in Sanskrit, the three greater energies that are bound to get disturbed, unbalanced, misaligned. And these are three greater energies that have been known in the Vedic sciences. And it's a very described science that you could learn more about. And I highly encourage you to go learn more about it. But it explains how each one of us, doesn't matter who we are, is supposed to live within the realm of these energies. And at the same time, these energies are bound to get imbalanced or disturbed. So the point is, there's nothing wrong with being out of balance, nothing wrong with being disturbed, but our objective is to get alignment of these three greater energies in combination. And that is what 3doshas, basics of living, is all about. Now, the science is very simple because it's distilled in a very simplified three energies format, but applying it is the toughest thing. And I sincerely mean that. Once you understand it, apply it, you'll realize it. I've been applying it for years, both in my personal life and my professional life. And I can tell you, it does work and it does boost your performance. So let me dive into it and explain a little bit more what these three energies are. So we have the 3 doshas of the body and the 3 doshas of the mind. The 3 doshas of the body in Sanskrit are called Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And in the mind, it's called Satva, Rajas, and Tamas. Now, these are Sanskrit words, but we've simplified it for you. And we've simplified it into three energies in the form of air, fire, and water. And I've given it some color scheme, the white, red, and blue. And what we're trying to articulate here is that the body needs movement, transformation, and grounding at all times to grow and function properly. The movement, obviously, we know the body goes through. Transformation is our digestive fire, or anything that the body's transforming in the form of anything inside the body. And then the grounding is just the rest and the sleep and everything we need. Now, just like the body, our mind also needs these three greater energies, and the mind needs ideation, transformation, and reflection. We all know that the mind is constantly looking for things, so ideas all come in the mind. The intellect is what goes through the transformation of all ideas that come in, and the reflection is how we reflect back on the experiences that we've gone through. So whether we like it or not, we're constantly in this realm of three doshas, or the three greater energies, both at the body and the mind level. Now, the objective is not just to understand the science, but to actually apply it. And the best way to apply is to first understand the three bodily doshas, the three mental doshas. So we talked about get your three greater energies in alignment in the body, then get your three mental greater energies in alignment. And the objective is to combine the body and the mind energies. And that is exactly what this knowledge is all about. That's how we level up our performance. This is what we call the ultimate balance state, or the ultimate alignment state, where we've got the body and the mind in alignment, and the combination of the body and the mind coming together actually helps us move everything up, including our spirit. And that's what we mean by leveling up and getting to your ultimate performance level. Okay. Now, the science also goes very deep in making us understand how each one of us has a very unique three doshas blueprint. Okay. I won't be able to do justice in this session, but I encourage you to go online and learn more about what these three doshas is all about. And essentially, at the highest level, what this is saying is each one of us is born at the time of our birth with a combination of these three energies. All right. So call it a concoction of the three energies, which means that some of us are predetermined to be more fiery, more airy, or more watery. Okay. I'm simplifying the terms, but what that means is we have either more transformation or a lot of action in us, or we're very creative people in the form of air, or we're very loyal, grounded people in the form of water, right? So these stars are representing what we may have been born with in our concoction of these three greater energies at the time of birth. And by the way, there is no right or wrong here. So it isn't, people ask me all the time, well, which one is the perfect state? I think the objective is for us to first understand what our unique three doshas blueprint is. Once we understand what our blueprint is and try and get more and more alignment in our life towards that blueprint, and once we hone in and focus on that, that's when we really start tapping into the full potential of this whole science, this whole energy realm, and how this helps us boost our performance. And again, for people that want to learn this more, I highly encourage you to go on our website and learn what the basics of living. I have a 5-module class that's being offered right now for free to understand what these energies are and how they really take form and shape in our body, mind, and our spirit, right? So highly, again, encourage you to go online, learn more about it, and also become a member with us. Okay, so let me now focus on our topic today, which is about focus and distractions. And I love this image. Sujay brought this image, and I love the image because it's basically showing us how we ought to focus and what we need to do to get focus. If you take a look at the imagery here, right, it's pretty straightforward. To get focus, we need to look through something with intensity, with a lens like this. And you can see the lens is focusing on where we want to go, the aim, the destination, where we're trying to go. There's a lot going on in the landscape. There could be mountains, birds, water, whales, sharks, whatever you want it to be. But I think the point here is we're focusing on focus, and there are lots of distractions. So number one, what are we doing? We're focusing on where we want to aim and go towards, right? So let's dive into it. Now, for focus, I thought I'd talk more in the realm of focus towards, how we get focus in our mind, or how we move towards focus in the mind. And like I said, mind means constant ideation. It'll go through transformation in the intellect, and it'll constantly reflect. And that's what the mind needs at all times, to live, to tick, to grow. But the key is to keep it in balance, right? And we all need that. Our mind needs all sorts of stimulation, right? It needs stimulation all the time. And the question is, what kind of stimulation are we giving it? And how does that stimulation affect us in all realms of our life, right? So I'm going to go back to these three greater energies and how they play in the form of focus. And for that, again, I want to talk about air, fire, and water, right? Air, again, gives us all the ideation. Fire gives us transformation, and water gives us reflection. So to get focus, right, we first need what we call clarity and intellectual honesty in what we want to achieve, right? Now, how do we get clarity and intellectual honesty? I would argue intellectual honesty comes to us from within. It's not something that we get, from something else. Intellect will go through all sorts of ideas and dissect them. But the honesty of what we want to do or where we want to go in life comes from within. And once we have that, we actually have clarity of where we're going, and we have clarity of what we want to achieve, right? So here's the greater energy of air that's giving us all the great ideas, all the awareness. And our objective here is to maximize all those ideas that move us towards where we're trying to go, move us towards the goal. And we're trying to minimize all the ideas that are distracting us, right? So this is what we call having awareness and clarity with some observation. Now, I use the words observation here because, to me, you're going to have intellectual honesty coming from inside only when you're observing yourself. So the objective of this greater energy is to first understand what our inside is telling us, where we want to go, and have some intellectual honesty about it, and then observe yourself. Observe and watch what thoughts are coming in, what thoughts are taking you into directions that you want to go. And that's very important. That's how we use the realm of this greater energy of air or ideation. Now, the next thing we focus on for our greater energy is transformation. So once we've got an idea of what we want to achieve or where we're headed, the next thing is to start taking actions towards it, right? By that, we mean, to take action, we need to get more of our actions aligned, right, towards what we want to do, right? Oops, sorry, give me one sec. So for transformation and action, we need to do more of what keeps us focused, right? And here, understanding this energy, we need to understand that let's channel all the good actions towards what's taking us towards our goal, and challenge all the actions that make us vulnerable towards all the distraction that life brings at us, right? So let me repeat that again. Do more of the actions, channel all the good actions that are going to take you towards your goal, and challenge all the actions that make us vulnerable and distract us away from our goal, right? And this is what we call repeat all good actions with a direction. Now, again, keep in mind, everything according to the three doshas theory says everything starts with ideation. We get ideas. Everything starts with the air element. We move to the action, right? And then we move to reflection. So we've all heard the term, hey, what you think is what you're going to do, right? So by that, we mean if you're getting some ideas, your ideas are going to go into action, right? And then once you've gone through the action, the natural next energy form you're going to go into is reflection, or what we call the full experience. Now, this is a very interesting topic, and we're going to spend more time on this topic in our next class. But let me quickly kind of talk about how reflection works. So once you've had the idea of wanting to do something, you've gone through taking all the actions and transformed. Once you've gone through the actuality of those actions, you're going to have finished an experience. And once you've finished the experience, you're going to reflect on it. Trust me, we all do this. take any example in life. You've done something, you know, you're going to reflect on it and say, how was it? How did it feel? Right? Was it good? Was it bad? You know, we're all going to try to pass judgment on it. We're all going to think about it because that's what experiences are all about. Right? So in this greater energy of water or reflection, our objective is to reflect on what worked and what didn't work, right, in our actions. So we're focusing in again on what really led us towards our goal, what didn't. And this actually happens in quiet times, reflection, right? And then here we also want to be mindful of understanding our strengths and weaknesses. By that, I mean, you know, if we did certain actions that are our strengths, like all of us have certain strengths that move us towards our direction that we're trying to go. We could be great at communication. We could be great at taking notes, reflecting, writing, I don't know, getting people together. So we should be mindful of, in our reflection, of what our strengths are. And then we should also be mindful of what we're not so great at that gets us distracted, right? So here we're using the water or the reflection properties of the greater energy to be very mindful of our actions and where the strengths are and the weaknesses. Now, I want to be careful with this one because reflection also can get us in trouble, because the objective here is to not constantly reflect and just get stuck in it. We want to reflect, but we also don't want to reflect too much, right? So we call this reflection in a healthy way. So to complete the whole cycle, right, starting with ideation, transformation, and reflection, we come up with ideas. We have intellectual honesty and awareness of what we want to do. We then go through our actions, move us towards our goals, and finish the goals that we've taken for ourselves. And then we reflect on it after we've gone through the full experience. And I thought I'd go ahead today, depending on how much time we have, we've got a few more minutes, and just talk about a modality of how we could use something like the three greater energies in the form of where, you know, how we stay focused and how we get distracted. And I couldn't think of a better analogy than what we do with our smartphone, right? And I love this picture because, you know, it says this is a smartphone and it's all about learning, right? And I know that a lot of teenagers always say, hey, phone is actually a learning device, and I learn everything on my phone. And I love that because the question is, yes, it is. It is a tool first and foremost. And the question is, you know, are we really using it for learning, or are we using it for something else? And I have two images, right? The one we started off with, the lens, and then one's is the phone that talks about, are we really learning on our phone? So why don't we take the same analogies that I made with the three greater energies into the modality of, are we learning on our phone? So we know we get a phone, right? And we all say, yep, it's a learning device and I'm going to learn a lot. Okay, if that's what we've decided we want to use the phone for, let's have clarity and intellectual honesty with ourselves on that this is a device that we're going to use to learn. And if we do that, great. We're going to maximize all the ideas that come through that phone towards where we want to go and minimize all the distractions. And by that, we all know how many distractions we get on our phone. So the objective is, okay, I've got this device. I'm going to get all good ideas. I'm going to maximize these ideas towards taking me towards my goal, and then minimize the other things. Now, we also have to take actions, right? So once we've got that idea of how we're going to use the device, we're going to take actions. And here's an example of how we can take actions on our phone, right? We're going to channel good actions that we do on our phone. So if we're doing something that's making us more productive, there's some disturbance in the back, Sachin, if you could mute. So if we're using our phone for actions that move us towards our goal, that's fantastic. And if there are distractions like notifications that are taking us away from our goal, we actually have to go in and take the action of minimizing those distractions, minimizing those notifications. And then I love the reflection for the phone, because I think the phones are now starting to do our reflection. You know, your phone will actually tell you all the time, hey, you spent 30% more this week. You spent 15% less this week on your phone. And I think it's important once we get these notifications that we go through and reflect on that and say, hey, I used my phone more this week. You know, did I use it towards my goal, or did I get distracted on the phone, right? So that's something for us to keep in mind and be mindful of as we go through those types of stats or KPIs on our phone. So let me pause there. I'm just being mindful of the time here. And I just wanted to kind of share with you at the highest level what the three greater energies are, how they're constantly in play, and how we could take anything in life. You could take focus, you could take growth, you could take learning, you could take making money, you could take your career and put it through the realm of these three greater energies. And trust me when I say these, when I say this, these three greater energies are always in play. This has been a science that has been known for thousands of years. This is a science that is truly perfected. And if you really focus on it, I can guarantee you, you'll start seeing how it works. I can guarantee you that you'll start seeing the results in terms of leveling up your performance. So hopefully I'm able to give you a small little flavor of how this works today. But if you want to learn more about it, again, I highly encourage you to go on our website, log in, understand this knowledge, learn more about it, become a member, and start getting on this journey with us, because we're going to take you on a journey where you can truly apply a lot of this science. So let me pause there now, Sachin, and let's open it up to some questions or comments. How do I, if I stop sharing, will it kill the recording?
No, it won't.
Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, any thoughts, any comments?
I just thought this was like super like insightful, and honestly I've never thought about like having a phone and like using it toward a goal, because I know we all say, like, even to my parents, I say, oh, I'm using this for learning, but I realized that that's sometimes not what I'm doing, and it's cool to like set goals and everything so that I can use my.
That's such a great question. I think I lost Isha. Is she still on?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Finish your thought, please.
Yeah, no, that was it. I was just saying, I like the phone analogy, especially because I think it really applies to me, and being able to use your phone to benefit you rather than, spending time on something else, because that's something else is probably not going to help you as much in the future.
Yeah. Yep. No, thank you for saying that. And by the way, thanks for your honesty, because I'll be the first one to tell you the amount of distractions I get on my phone. It's not like any of us are perfect. I want to be clear. Nobody here is like perfect, right? And the whole objective is to understand how we apply a lot of this knowledge, right? And like, I'll give you an example myself. Like, I woke up this morning and I'm having a little party in the house. First thing that comes to my mind is, oh, I need to place those orders on Amazon, right? and you go on your phone, you start looking up all sorts of random things on Amazon. You start thinking about, oh, do I need this? So well said, right? I mean, we all got, work to do, but the point is, how are we using the device? And I thought I'd share this analogy because this applies to all of us. It's universal. But the objective is, to kind of hone in and understand that, yes, the mind needs stimulation. Yes, we need more things. Yes, we need the phone. Yes, we need stimulation. But how we use it is the most important thing to get focus, right? So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for asking the question. Any other thoughts or questions?
I just want to say the phone is a very good analogy. I just did the same thing that you did the other day. I went on to look up for something for the school, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, there's a lightning deal over here and whatever it is over there. And so it is true. And so when using that as a tool, turning off your notifications or whatever it might be. And I also find to keep focus, I have to schedule out my day like in like 15 or 30-minute chunks, because if not, then it's those little things. Okay, then I schedule in those times to respond to the notifications and stuff like that I would get on the phone, and make it so that I can stay focused, because it's so easy. And even as adults, like, it's not just young people, like we are all over the place. And before you know, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hits, and you're like, what did I do today? So I think that's a really great analogy. And I think one step further is while you're using your phone for learning, and then what are you doing after that to take that knowledge and apply it? Why are you learning that? And I think you said that in a really great way. Okay, here's my goal. And then the next step is reflect, to take it and then reflect on it. And what do I want to do with it? Why am I learning this knowledge? What am I going to do with it once I learn it? Am I going to share it with someone? Am I going to apply it to something? So I think that I like that analogy and everything. And it was a great to experience the 3 of the different things together. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Christy. Actually, you took it to the next level, which I love what you said. You said, in reflection, we also ought to think about, what did I do with that knowledge that I just got on my phone? Am I going to share it? Like you said, am I going to do something with it? And I think that's a beautiful way of saying reflection, because a lot of times, especially, for some of us that are just constantly busy, we don't have time to reflect. And what we're doing is we're just consuming a lot of data on these devices. And, it's great that you actually are disciplined about saying, I've got this chunk of time when I'm going to get back to people. But most of us, I know I'm a culprit of this, we get information, we're like instantly, oh my gosh, I got to reply, or I call it, I got to serve my phone because it's obviously somebody's looking for something. But I think it's great. You said reflection of, am I being mindful of my time when I'm going to be replying? Am I being mindful of what I learned and what I'm going to do with it? And I think I'd encourage people to kind of look at reflection as a very strong energy that we all ought to focus on, because it actually helps us towards focus a lot more than we know, right? And for that, we ought to have time, or we ought to make time to reflect.
And I just want to say one more thing is that if you know that you're going to go and learn something at a certain time of the day, if it's a time of the day where you're going to get bombarded with notifications and you have to respond to it, then save that for a time, either earlier on or later in the evening, where you can then really take in what it is that you're learning and be able to then actually reflect on it, where you're not going to be as on demand as you would during other times of the day too. So yeah.
Such great advice. Awesome. Thank you. That's great.
Yes, Sumit, I have a question. I mean, in your day-to-day life, sometimes you are angry, sometimes you are happy, you are this. How does that relate with the 3 doshas and how we can keep it balanced?
What a great question. So what the Doshas would say is, you're going to go through the realm of all those energies. So for example, if you're more angry, you're actually more towards fire, right? And if you're actually more creative, you're more towards air. And you're actually more, call it down, feeling low, depressed, you're actually more towards water. So the Three Doshas theory would say that you are in the realm of these 3 greater energies at all times. You need to know where you're at. So if you're angry, for example, towards fire, you need to counterbalance that energy with the other energies. So get a little bit more creative towards things you want to do, or be more grounded at that time because you're angry. And, and this is, again, a science that explains in so many beautiful ways of how the mind is in the realm of these 3 greater energies, and how the body on top of it is also going through these transformations. And the objective is to know and understand where you are within those 3 greater energies and counterbalance them with the others. And that's what we mean by getting alignment. Because once you get alignment, and the alignment is unique for each one of us, right? So some of us are naturally more fiery. Some of us are naturally more creative. How you balance that is the most important point. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. Thank you, Sachin. Any other thoughts or any other questions from anybody else? Okay, I hear some disturbance, but outside of that, any other thoughts? Anybody else? Okay, great. If not, Sachin, you want to say any last words?
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can check out our other videos and make sure to hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you, Sumit.
So everyone, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.